Good evening, gentlemen. I am going to attempt to do a demo for you guys on this little video and hope that it works out. Oh, look, you can see me in the reflection from the screen. How fun. So I will try to do this on Skype too, but if I can get this done on a video, then you guys can look at it, pause it, go back and forth, see what you guys need to see. And then hopefully that'll be a little bit easier than me trying to show you the video through Skype or do the demo through Skype as we ran into last week. So what you guys have to accomplish tonight is to take two of the logos that you came up with, and theoretically you guys came up with 10 different ideas, to each of the 5 different major types of logos, and you tried to make those 10 different ideas. Just like with your weekly homework assignments, I'm trying to get you guys to generate multiple ideas and ones that won't necessarily be the most common answer, something a little bit more unique, a little bit more thought out. Sorry, with your personal logos, obviously I'm hoping that you guys come up with things that really visually represent who you guys are in lots of different ways, especially based on whatever the textbook has taught us in these first 6 or 7 chapters. Working with images, shapes, lines, trying to make it look balanced. Obviously color and color theory plays a part, as well as fonts and making a font choice, because fonts can definitely be very expressive and help with logos. So I believe I printed off this page. You guys got it with your Project 1 assignment sheets, hopefully last week or the week before. I'm just going to play around with some of these and show you how I got to these solutions, and then how through Illustrator you guys could create your own and then make multiple versions of the same one to test out what you think and how it looks. So I'm kind of reaching around my iPad, which is recording, and trying to get at the screen and work with the letters. So we'll see how well this goes so I don't knock down the iPad. Anyways, I'm in Illustrator. I have an older version of Illustrator. Yours will probably be gray or black if you're using CS6 version of Illustrator. But with most all programs in Adobe, you have your toolbars off to the left. You have your menu bar up top. Pardon me, sorry. You have your menu bar up top, which also drops down to give you different options. And then you have your Windows palettes over to the right that also help you do different things. The computer program will pull up its mainstays that come up all the time, but you can always add to it or take away whichever ones you need. One of the ones you will probably use very heavily is the one called Stroke. And if it's not present on your screen, you can go up to your window on the menu bar and go down to Stroke. Stroke is the thickness of a line. So if I were to zoom in on this kind of Captain America shield, grab my black move tool, and I'm going to select just this circle. So I'm going to try to select, there we go. So the circle and the shape are locked right now, so they're kind of together. So maybe I can go with the star here. So I've removed this star shape. Let's try to drag it over here so I can work with it. Whoop. And try to get it to not cut off the page. Here we go. So here's this star shape. And when I click on it and I have just it working with me, if you notice over here it has 2 different squares in your color palette. The main one that's filled, that's called your fill color. It's blue, that's blue. I double click on it, I can make it green, now it's green. Okay, so that's your fill color, but you also have a stroke color. That's going to be the outside stroke, which looked red over here. Now you can have this red line through it like the no smoking sign, and that means that there is no stroke or outline. Or you can pick a color. Double click on it, let's pick black. Now it's going to give it a black outline, which you guys now see. The stroke window palette gives you the thickness of that line. So I can thicken it up. I could go overboard and make it really thick, and that's how you start to play around with your colors and your stroke. Let's just undo everything that I did, put it back the way it was, and we'll zoom back out. So that's colors, that's stroke. Other things that you can use, there is a shape tool on the toolbar underneath your type tool, and you can make random shapes. So there was one that automatically makes a star, and I can make this nice spinny star, and again make it any color that I want. There is a rounded rectangle, so you can get this kind of app icon if you wanted to make your logo look like an app icon on your smartphone. And then there's also the pen tool, which we haven't used a lot, and I'd like to use this tool because it allows you to do things that are a little bit more organic, that you can make your own type of pattern. That's why this is called Illustrator. It allows you to play around with making your own thing, essentially an illustration. Let's say we wanted to make a South Park character. So I can go in here and make, you know, like Cartman's fat face. Sorry. Go and give him, let's find the skin tone. Let's just say, hey, there's Cartman's face. Okay, he wears a hat of some sort. It's been years since I saw these characters, but here's how we can do it. So now I'm going to take my pen tool. I'm going to put, whoops. First I'm going to unselect that shape. Now I'm going to go back with the pen tool. And I'm going to make his hat. And I can turn this into a line. I then go back here. These are called anchor points. Go down on an anchor point. Go up a little bit. Go over here. Arch it. Click on that anchor point to drop it there and then connect it. And now I've got this new shape that I've just created. Right now it's beige like the skin tone. Let's make it yellow. Give him a yellow hat. And now, whoops, he's got the start of the rim to his hat. Now I can take that anchor tool again. And this time I'm going to go up. And we're going to make the hat a little bit more rounded. And then I will finish my lines here. And now we have that. We'll make this. Let's make it green. No, here we go. And now we have some guy's face, a hat. This right now is buried behind it. You can go up to Object because you're working with your objects. Go to Arrange and bring the front. In Illustrator, I work through this objects palette. In Photoshop, you might remember doing layers. So when we did our robots, we had all these different layers that you could click on to put things in front of or behind. In Illustrator, I use it through the Object and Arrange. And this allows me to bring it forward, backwards, front, or back. So I'm going to move this all the way to the front. And now I've got the rim of my hat. I can actually move down. I can tilt and rotate this hat. And all of a sudden, I've got my hat and my face. We can go back. We can give him some eyes. Let's go with an elliptical tool. Let's make our color white. And again, I'm making a little cartoon character. But this is how you can illustrate in this program. Now I'm going to make it black. Hit OK. Take my oval tool. Make a little pupil in there. Hey, look, now we've got an eyeball. I can select this, hold Shift, and then just like in Photoshop, which you learned with your nuts and bolts, I can press Alt, and that little black and white tool or cursor comes up. And now I've duplicated the shape relatively fast. We can make them all surprised. Oh, and there's got a mouth. And look, we've got a cute little meme that we can put online. I can take my pencil tool and I can make a nice stick figure body. Let's go here. And now let's go like that. Whoops. It's making a shape right now. What I need to do is undo the fill. And now I can just create another line. Another line. There's his neck. Whoops. What's happening is it's trying to connect all these lines together. So let me restart over. We'll make a little stick figure body. What the pencil does is it allows you to make that stick figure pretty quick. You could also do it with the pen tool. It's a little less organic though. But I believe this is what memes look like. I don't know much about memes. My brother kind of taught me what they were. But, you know, here. Yay, here's our body, our stick figure person. I can go and select all of his head, move it down. Ta-da! Now you guys have worked with making shapes, clicking on things. As I mentioned, that pen tool works really well. Holding Shift to make straight lines if you want to make a rectangle, and then if you want to zigzag it in, and boom, and now we've got kind of like a Mr. Pac-Man little logo. Right now it's got nothing in it. If I grab the eyedropper tool, I can make it blue, and now I've made like a little flag. So in Illustrator, you two tools, the pencil tool and the pen tool. The pen tool works by dropping little nodes to make your shapes. Let's take this now, and I'm going to make it black. Now I can take that and move it down here, and this might just be your logo, the start of your little icon logo. The pen tool, as I was saying, sorry I got sidetracked, makes all of your lines and allows you to make really nice curved lines. And you can make, maybe that's the letter P, and this is my new little logo. Take that flag away, grab this one, and here's the start of one of my little app icon logos. That's what the pen tool does. Whoa, tilting over the book. Sorry. There we go, back up and running. And then the pencil tool, which is slightly different, will create a lot more of like a pencil sketch. Again, it drops down all those little nodes, which are manipulatable, malleable, one of the words, sorry. And that's what the pencil does, so it gives you a lot more like hand-drawn, handmade look. Jumping into playing around with fonts and manipulating those. Here's one logo that I was playing with during a demo a couple years ago. Again, all I did was take my initials. I'm stealing something from another. Oh well. I'm stealing something from another logo that I made. I just wanted the L. So this is the L, and if I were to copy and make the other L and turn this into capital A, that's how I got the start of this logo. And again, I'm just playing around with fonts here, and this is something that happened a lot more organically while I was playing on the computer. I didn't really sketch this one ahead of time, but all I did was take the letter A and the letter L, and then I manipulated them. I don't know why they're falling out of my box here. And then I copied this one. Oy, I'm having some problems. Let's copy this. Sorry, these are the non-rehearsed parts of the demo. It's getting kind of long. I'm sorry. A couple more things I want to show you. Mainly how to manipulate fonts here. So I'm going to go back. So I've created my L. Let's zoom back in this area. There we go. Okay. I am going to press Alt and copy it. Rotate that L. So those are my, well, it's the initial of my last name. And I kind of created a little frame. And then what I did was I took the same font. Whoops. And just did the capital A. I believe he even manipulated it a little bit, and I made it a little bit taller and thinner. And then there's my initials for AL. It also kind of makes it like a frame. Maybe I'm an architect, a furniture designer. I don't know, but it makes a logo, just playing around with letter forms, which is why I like to show that one off. The same thing happened here. For whatever reason, this moved up here. I don't know why it's... Let's see if I can undo and put it back to where it was. Okay. So I had done it down here, and what it did was it made kind of an A with Lauer written on it, so it made kind of more of an emblem or a letter mark. I was playing around with the same A, and I was manipulating it. Again, it's just the regular letter A from that font. And I turned it into a little bit more manipulated, and it looked more like a road. So then I had the idea, well, hot damn, I could turn it into Anthony's Delivery Service. So take the A, turn it into a street with dashed lines. To do that, all I did was take this little letter A here, which we'll steal it and we'll go down here, and I manipulated it. So I need to turn this one straight. Let's go like that. Now let's zoom in, and I'll show you how I manipulated that. Any fonts that you create will have this nice, that you use will have this nice box around it, and it just means it's a font. But the power of Illustrator is you can go up to type, because you're manipulating type, and you can go and say create outlines. And what that does is now it takes that letter and makes it a manipulated little Illustrator file where you have anchor points. So if you click on the white tool, which is the direct selection tool, you can now go here and you can manipulate that font however you want. So if I wanted to turn this into more like the street, going off to the distance, I've made that a little bit longer. If I go to this middle shape, if I need to make this a little bit longer to make it look like the stripe, and then the stripe needs to be finished off, this should probably match up over here and over here, so it's as wide as that one. And now I'm missing a node or an anchor point, and what you can do there is over by the pen tool, one of the drop downs is add an anchor point. So I'm just going to add one to this path here, go back, grab my white direct selection tool, and now I've added an anchor point, and now look, it looks like a road. The reason I like this is you can find almost any font on the computer. So if I need to go back, and let's do the letter R, because Antoine's name starts with an A and so does mine, but let's play around with an R for Ryan. You can drop down and find any of your different fonts, and if you don't really like this view for the drop down, you can also go to a window and you can get what's called, under type is character, and that will actually show you the font when you go select it. So if you look here, I happen to have this font, you guys don't. It's called Neon. So now I've got a font, and right here it's an R for Ryan, for it's just called Neon, but maybe I want to manipulate this. This is probably a bad choice of a font to manipulate, but you can grab anything. I really like this particular font, and now it looks like a typewriter typed it. But I can again select it, go up to type, create outlines, and now it's giving me all these nodes. Maybe I want to make the foot of this go way high up. I can go back now to my white mouse tool, my direct select tool, and I can manipulate this and make it go all the way up there if I so chose. Not saying I like it, but that's like the prescription, how to make like a prescription font. Now I'm rambling a little bit more. Let's try to see what else is on here. I think that was the last thing I wanted to show you how to do, is how to manipulate your fonts in the event that you want to do a letter mark. This was a student's project that I did. Like, she told me her ideas, and so I started making it. The reason I show you these is because they're all slightly different. So I could take the same thing and I could make 3 different designs really fast. So she's Davis Design. I don't know why my design here didn't stick down here. But again, you can do Davis Design where it's stacked on top of itself. Here they're off to the side, so they're kind of staggered. This one doesn't have a leaf. This one does have a leaf. This one has the leaf, but the words are below it. You can take both of these and put them over here, and this could be the logo. You can make 12 different versions really quick and just keep manipulating them. If I could take this and this and this, you could go to this extreme, and I'm just going to copy this and then get out of there and paste it. Now I've got the leaf pattern that I made. Maybe I wanted to go down that route, and now I've got this really nice leaf that now looks kind of cool, and I can take Davis Design and make that stand out. Whoops, it went behind. So I go up here, Object, Arrange, Send Back. I can manipulate that. If you still like the flower, you could try to get all those elements in there. This is just one particular petal, so I'll copy and paste it. So now I've got this petal. I can make it a little bit bigger. I can manipulate it by grabbing a couple of them, and now I can go back and tilt these around. And I actually only need 2. I can grab both of those, copy that, rotate it around. Now I've got the start of my flower. I can copy all of those and rotate it. And in 10 seconds I've made a whole little flower here. If I really liked, I can go grab the shape tool, make that nice little flower thing in the middle. I can make it green. And now I've got this new abstract flower I made. If you select it all, Object, and you can group them together, and now I can move the whole thing without it moving, and now hey look, you've got Davis Designs. You want the Davis part, Object, Arrange, Front. Now you've got Davis Designs. So the goal is, and why I like to show this, is that you can have an idea that you're sold on, that you've worked with, but you can, in Illustrator, just your one winning idea that you like, you can do it 7, 8 different ways in pretty rapid succession. It's called ideation. It's coming up with multiple versions and multiple versions and multiple versions, and you can do this with any of them. If I really liked the delivery service, if I could, I could take the same thing, copy it, go down here, paste it really quick. Maybe I don't like this particular font. I can go back and change the font if I want to. This one's called Beer. Let's see how that looks. Okay, oh, that looks a little bit more computer-esque, a little weird. But I can see it now, and now I can come up with a whole nother version and go down here and, hey, now, whoops, that didn't work. Why didn't that work? If I press the right button. Okay, now I can go back, change the font over here, and pretty rapidly come up with, oh, I kind of like this font over that font. Hey, look, this one now has nice speedy stripes on it. Anthony's Delivery Service. It's a little bit big, so I can select it all, shrink it down so it fits, and now I've got Anthony's Delivery Service. Boom. I've got 3 different versions of the same idea, done in 10 seconds. I've made the video really long. It's almost 22 minutes now, so I'm going to let you guys go. I hope that demo helps. I'm now going to try to save this in the next 15 minutes before I Skype you guys and get it emailed off so that you guys can see it. I'll also try to post it to Edmodo. Okay, bye.